I am a crazy, crazy conspiracy theorist, okay? So, anybody wants to get butt hurt by what I'm saying, feel free. Understand that you're letting a crazy So, like so many of my escapades, and I encourage you to go back and watch previous videos to disprove me if you can. I believe I've exposed a lot of secrets that I maybe wasn't supposed to. And again, a lot of times it'll be I'm looking in one direction, looking something up, trying to figure something out, and something pops up, and I go, oh, wait, let me check this out. Let me check this out. And then I do, and shockingly, it exposes something I wasn't expecting.
We do it every day. The things once thought illogical, we prove and prove away. The lines we saw as nautical are now redrawn in space. Evolution's in your optical. Just look at your Chevy Chase.
All right, so I had to throw it out there. Get your free download, www.the-builderberg, BILDERG-group.com. Free to download. All you have to do is, when you click download, it'll ask you how much you want to pay. You click 0, and it's free. All we ask is that you share it with someone. It's like me giving you $5 to share it instead of me asking you for $5. You know why? You see what I mean? So again, you're gonna have your way out if you want it. My hair looks like this. I just did that. If you want your way out of this conversation, you will find it. I promise. I'll give it to you. You can, oh, this guy is a dumb Goyim who's saying the wrong things. I want literally I want nothing to do with Israel. I want to remove the cult altogether. I think we should kill pedophiles, and there's lots of things that we talk about every day. But today, magical today, and I've actually talked about this several times. I never did buy the Kobe story. I thought it just didn't make sense to begin with. Kobe dies on a Sunday, on a day where, for some reason, there's fog. It's an immense fog. It's so thick pea soup fog that all air traffic, all helicopter air traffic is grounded that day, except for Kobe. Kobe gets a pass. Now, one of those details that's often left out is the little Jewish girl that was on the helicopter and was planning on going for the ride and got pulled off at the last minute. Right? There's always that. But needless, the narrative, and that was given, especially like there's random footage of people just being like, hey, there's a helicopter, I'm gonna film it for some reason. A couple of those videos exist.
Isn't that what you're wondering?
And in the videos you can see, like, it's not nearly as foggy as they try to make it sound like, I guess. I don't know. By the time the crash happens, it's not even that foggy. But the narrative is either, I don't know what the official narrative is yet, that the helicopter was flying, they were instead of going around this mountain pass, which would have added like 10 minutes to the journey, they decided to go over it, and either the helicopter conked out and crashed, or as they were trying to go over the pass, they didn't get high enough and they sort of clipped the mountain and crashed into it. Still don't actually have no notification, right? Still don't have any real confirmation about that. But Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, literally that's all the news is talking about, other than the upcoming Wednesday, where the one of the Trump impeachments or whatever was said to be coming to a close. The interesting thing was on Tuesday. Now, at the time, I used to watch CBS Morning News every day because I wanted the national news, not the local news. And I didn't believe what I was seeing. I just wanted to know what the other Goyim were being informed with. So I watched the news every day. And it was relentless Kobe shit for those first 3 days. Sunday, obviously, it happened. Monday and Tuesday, that's what they talk about. Wednesday, they talk about the Trump thing, and it just sort of changes. What doesn't get talked about is that on Tuesday, Netanyahu, man under indictment, like piece of shit monster that he was not only there, but he was standing with his arm on Trump's shoulder, as Trump is signing the legislation that says all colleges and universities have to have a pro-Israel stance and actively remove any BDS or anti-Israel sentiment from the campus at the risk of losing federal funding. And most universities and colleges can't survive without federal funding. It's more than 50% of their shit. And it wasn't picked up by any major news station. The only reason I saw it is because I happened to watch the 700 Club at the time. The news programs would go off at 8, and then from 8 to 9, I got some entertainment watching the 700 Club. And this was sort of at the beginning of them covering Israel first in every broadcast. But they actually covered the fact that this had happened. That's the only reason I know about it. And it was interesting how that legislation didn't really come into, use until 2023, 2024, 2025. Good thing he signed it all that time back, right? Good thing there was that Kobe distraction to keep us from knowing it happened. So if I ask any of you, what did the Kobe funeral look like? You're going to say, I don't know. Ask Grok about it. I asked Grok about it. Did you watch the 700 Club often? Every day? It was fucking amazing. It got to be like once COVID hit, and that's all the news would talk about, and even the 700 Club, like I lost interest. After like a year of it just being nothing but COVID, Trump, COVID, Trump, COVID. Like, there was just no point in watching it anymore. And I really only watched it again to be informed, like to be able to have communication, conversation, debate with regular people. Because, those people love to say, oh, where'd you get your information from? YouTube? So if you say, no, I watched it on the news this morning, it was sort of difficult. And once that happened, where I just couldn't stand the propaganda anymore, and I stopped watching the news, I actually felt a little less informed, and it bothered me. So I figured, okay, I'm going to start reading the news. But then again, which news do you read? So then it dawned on me, because I had already experienced this, that anytime something big is happening here, it's covering for something even bigger happening in Israel that we're just not supposed to know about. So like when Christian American dual American Palestinian 20-year long female journalist, like ultra high revered female journalist Shireen Abu Akleh was murdered by Israel in cold blood, and then they shot all around her to prevent people from getting to her. That day, when we should have been outraged that an American press agent Christian woman was killed by Israel, the grocery store shooting happens here. And of course, we are completely distracted by the grocery store shooting. 2 days later, when the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force of their military branch, showed up to her funeral and attacked the people carrying the casket to the point where they dropped it, but they caught it before it hit the ground. It's too bad. It's gory and disgusting. But it's too bad she didn't fall out. Because if she would have fallen out, the body would have fallen out, then it would have been unblockable news. That shit would have been everywhere. But customary for the Palestinians is when a martyr like her is killed, the Christians, they have the funeral at the church, and then they carry the casket to the cemetery where they sing songs, and then they have their burial and whatnot. And Israel's stance was that they would rather the public see them attacking a funeral than see Palestinian solidarity over this woman. Craziest part is that the murder actually covered up the funeral. Because have you ever heard of a government agency attacking a funeral? No. And that should have been the biggest fucking story. That day, 2 days later, was the day there was the shooting in Texas, the school shooting where 19 kids and 2 teachers were killed, and all of the kids in the school were held hostage until the parents gave DNA samples to get their kids back at like 2, 3 in the morning. Remember that story that bleeped and disappeared? All 19 kids and 2 teachers killed were all from one class, so there was really no need to hold everyone hostage, but they did it anyway. Remember that? So I learned early on that if you want to know what's going on in the United States, COVID was a great example too. Just read the Israeli news, and then weeks, months later, similar things will happen in the United States. And that's how I got to the positions that I'm in, right? And you start to learn that if it's being talked about on TV, it's orchestrated. Look, there are murders that happen all the time. I live in Detroit. There are a couple of people killed, especially in the summertime. A couple, 5, 10 people killed constantly, especially weekends and shit. This doesn't make national news. They choose the stories that you're supposed to pay attention to. Everything that you see is a manipulation one way or another. So, if you're watching, like, share, and sub. This shit helps out. They censor the fuck out of me. So, like, share, sub. I have 2,500 subscribers. Do you think it's possible that I'm going to have 9 viewers and 4 likes? Does that even work? Obviously, they censor me. So, they being the Israeli friars that control everything. There's no mincing of words on this channel. If you're tired of the fake truthers who all of them, Ian Carroll, Stu Peters, Nick Fuentes, again, you pick your truther. They all tell you at the end of the day that their ability to see the truth, their ability to investigate all that, it ends when Christianity comes up. Because they all tell you to believe in God and Jesus. And that the Jews hate Jesus and all this, and they're trying to get to Jesus. And all of them say the same thing. Not one of them seems to understand that the Bible is a Jewish fairy tale. All of the characters are Jewish. It's all the same bullshit. It's all just manipulation left and right. And in controlled opposition is going to say all the right things, while only saying a couple of things that are sort of suspect, but those are big things. So when all of those people again tell you can't blame the whole cult, I have some friends who are nice to my face and they're cult members, so you can't blame the cult. Fuck yeah, I can. The pedophile, disgusting metzitzia cult, I can absolutely blame it outright 100%. I hate it. It's disgusting. And don't get me, I hate Christianity and Islam too. Don't get that wrong. Truth, whether you like it or not. Of course. I say the truth whether I like it or not. It's just what it is. The truth is the truth. So, going back to Kobe Bryant. So the helicopter crashes, and unfortunately for the system, the narrative is that when the helicopter crashed, some mountain bikers happened to be riding through, and they had a helmet cam on, and they got there before police or anything else, where this helicopter crash is supposed to be a magnesium fire. That's what you'll see reports saying, that they can tell it was a magnesium fire by how bright the fire seems to be glowing from the really far away shots that they have. Because again, this is on the side of a mountain. Nobody's supposed to be there. They're supposed to have total control of the situation long before any Goyim are able to get there. Not sure how they didn't account for this, but they did not account for it. Right? You have this footage that is supposedly from the mountain bikers that rolled up on the scene right after it happened. And tell me what you see or you don't see in this footage. Let's see. Okay. This is ABC News. New video shows wreckage from helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant and 8 others. So listen to what she says here. It's really important that you pay attention to the whole video. Tell me what you see. It's only 24 seconds.
A new video shows what a mountain biker saw just seconds after the helicopter carrying Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others crashed last month in Calabasas. Investigators believe poor weather conditions and pilot error are likely causes of the crash, but the full investigation will take months.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Sure didn't look super foggy. So, did you notice what she said first and foremost? That footage is what a mountain biker saw seconds after the crash. And you notice the mountain biker is just sort of standing there looking kind of confused. They're looking at it. They're just kind of like, what is going on? And they sort of look around. You can't see their face, but you can imagine they're looking at the crash. They're looking at like the fuselage, and they're sitting there going, if that's what it's called. They're looking at that for a minute. And then they look over and look back. You notice what else you don't see? So this is supposedly a magnesium fire. Magnesium fires are said to burn way hotter than regular fires. And they said it was a magnesium fire, which is why so much evidence was gone. Because the one thing you don't see in this video are bodies. 8 human bodies. One of which is a 6 foot something, 200 something black guy. 6'6" or some shit. Wasn't Kobe like 6'6"? 6'6" black guy. Big fucking muscly black guy. Human bodies are 70% water. They don't just evaporate. You know. There should be fucking bodies strewn everywhere. Body parts strewn everywhere. It looks like, what it reminds me of is the flight 91. Is that the one that the brave passengers made crash in the fucking in the middle of the field? Where all there was a big like vagina cut that satellite photos from prior to the accident show was there already. Was already there before the crash. You know, the little cut that they said the plane evaporated into, including the engines and all of it, right? Makes sense to you? I want to see it again. No problem. Here's the video. Again, pay attention to the audio.
A new video shows what a mountain biker saw just seconds after the helicopter carrying Kobe
See any
Bryant's
bodies?
daughter and 7 others crashed
See any body
last
parts?
month in Calabasas.
Why isn't all that dry brush catching fire?
And pilot error are likely causes
Look at that.
of
No
the crash,
bodies.
but
There's nothing there. There's no people there.
Will take months.
Hello, I'm
The
Mark.
full investigation will take months. You guys see that shit? Look at. You have one of the trolls that's like, nah, looks like you're run-of-the-mill magnesium fire helicross combo to me, because he's an expert in helicopter crashes with magnesium fires, right? Just like every other stupid-ass thing. Nope, nah, my grandpa, he built submarines. My uncle worked on submarines. It's always something stupid like that. We're supposed to trust the expertise of this dumbass troll because you know what fucking magnesium helicopter fires look like. Again, no need for bodies to be anywhere because they cleared it up before the news showed up. Did you not hear this? See, again, it's like these dumbasses just say things. They make themselves look stupid. It's like they just.
A new video shows what a mountain biker saw just seconds after the helicopter carrying Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others crashed last month in Calabasas.
There you go. Just seconds after the crash. Nobody was supposed to be there. The only videos that were supposed to be taken were from afar, where you saw the bright fire that they said was the magnesium fire. Where is the evidence that shows that? Why isn't that brush destroyed? Do you know that in California, especially at that time of year, they have a huge problem with wildfires? You would think a helicopter crash would be one of those things that sparks a wildfire, especially when, somebody's cigarette sparked it, or, somebody left a campfire going, or some coals in a campfire, and it made the whole fucking place blow up, and acres catch on fire. Not this time. Surrounded by brush. Dry brush. Like, you can actually see that there is some of the dry brush is sticking up through the wreckage. Almost like it had already been there. Does it ever occur to you that maybe it had already been there? Look at the imagery. Here, we'll pull up a different video where you can actually see, like, you can see that there is brush sticking up all throughout the crash. It looks like all that debris was there, and then they just lit a little bit of fire. Here's the drone video.
What's the secret to PEDO?
Lots and lots of money, because you used to be a big fat broad, and we'll do it like this so you guys can see it. Oops. NTSB drone footage. Crash site. Now this is after the fact. This looks like a crash site. Look at all this dry debris that's strewn throughout the crash site. Look at this shit. Look at how dry that is everywhere. That shit should have just blown up. Look at the stuff sticking up through the fucking shit. That's got a little bit of scorch mark on it. That's all. Look at that dry debris sticking up. Look at it. They set it down. Look at this piece of shit sticking up right behind it. Look at the little pieces sticking up look at right there. Another one sticking right up. That's inside the wreck. Oh, there's the engine. Just in case you were wondering, and everything around it is melted. This melted a helicopter. Melted it, but didn't catch the brush on fire. Look at this. Look at this shit. It's literally touching it. Look at this. They set it down on top of it. But this shit is old. This stuff has had a chance to start to bend back after the stuff was set on top of it. It only takes 24 hours before stuff starts bending back. There's the wheel just sitting there like, so you know it's a wheel. The wheel didn't pop. In the midst of all that fire that's melting all of this shit, the wheel just sat there and didn't pop or anything. That makes sense to you? Melting some magnesium if it doesn't pop the wheel. Right along this trail. Good thing they happened to crash right on that trail like that.
Checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button down here and click on any of the videos over here.
Tell me how that makes sense to you. Tell me how that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, the narrative is that Kobe Bryant's wife, quote, called the media and asked the media not to show up to the funeral. That's why there are 0, 0, 0 pictures on that funeral or of that funeral. And the people that you would expect to have been at the funeral, the Shaqs, you know, the media personalities, lots of basketball players and whatnot that you would have thought they would have gone to the Kobe funeral. They were all working that day like nothing was wrong. They were all doing like they didn't even go to a funeral that morning. And not one Inquirer, not one, not one tabloid magazine, sleazy, not one of them had one of their guys stationed, across the way from the cemetery with a telescopic lens taking pictures of the funeral. These guys will sit in trees to try to get a shot of a celebrity adjusting her bikini just so they can, I can see the nipple. These guys make all sorts of, that's literally what they get paid to do. And if there was one of them that had the Kobe Bryant funeral pictures, they would be able to sell them for millions of dollars. If there was only one of them that did it, then those would be extremely valuable. And not a single person did it because she called the media. What the fuck does that even mean? How did she call the media? I would imagine the media has a few different phone numbers. You literally have zero proof that Kobe died. As a matter of fact, it's very weird how everything worked, instead. Isn't it crazy how the rape, the Kobe rape, the one that number 8 raped, number 24 was the family man, number 8 was the rapist. The girl that Kobe supposedly raped, because, good-looking basketball player Kobe Bryant really had to rape broads, right? Good-looking family man Kobe Bryant, who's had the same wife forever and wasn't known to be a cheater, was known to be very focused on his career and his family. Somehow this one broad got through and nobody knows who she is. Nobody's ever seen the broad. She got like $20 million or something out of the suit. And nobody knows who this suddenly rich millionaire broad is, who was the supposed rape victim of Kobe, and nobody wants to know her opinion on his death. After all these years, she's just, nope. Nobody that knows her is like, hey, I know her. And nothing. She's just remained anonymous this whole time. In this day and age, she's remained anonymous. Doesn't that sound strange to you? The whole thing is just fucking crazy. Metal melted, but the plants and shrubs are still there. Exactly. It melted. The fucking tire. The tire that's under extreme pressure. A helicopter tire to be able to handle a helicopter coming in a landing and all the weight and all that. That tire is under extreme pressure. And not only did it not pop, it just sat there in case somebody wanted to take a picture of it. Didn't roll down the hill, nothing. Just sat right there. And again. The mountain biker was there just seconds after the crash. Just seconds after the crash. An unexpected thing. This is the unexpected thing that blows the whole case wide open, and nobody's ever, who are those guys? Who are those mountain bikers? Were they interviewed? Did anybody know what the fuck they saw? Hey man, what was that like? What did you see? What was it? The smell? You would imagine it would have been a blazing inferno if a helicopter crashed there. Nope. It looks like a gouge was cut into the ground, and then debris was strewn everywhere. And then a large chunk was set down, and this was set up, days in advance, a day in advance. And then for the big show, they lit something on fire. But it doesn't make any sense how the fire didn't engulf the whole, how it didn't start a massive forest fire in that region. If you want to say it's because it's foggy, it was foggy that day, you're a moron. You don't know what fire does. Fire evaporates liquid. None of that shit would still be wet if the fire was there. It would have dried it all out and then caught fire almost immediately, especially all the brush that sticks up and has the little twigs. And that's the stuff you use when you want to start a fire. That's the stuff you initially light to get your kindling going. It's such a fucking dumb story. And it's like, again, just accepting the notion that his wife called the media and therefore not a single soul decided to take a picture of what, could be considered one of the most important, funerals in forever. Because this guy was huge. Well, he was a huge star. It's interesting in the basketball card world, his cards weren't worth a lot. When he died, his cards skyrocketed. It was almost one of the things that boosted the whole card market as a whole. And yet, nobody gave a shit about his actual funeral. When was it? Let's see if we can find it. Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gianna, were laid to rest in a private funeral service on February 7th, 2020, in Pacific View Memorial Park in Corona Del Mar, California. Just weeks before COVID really took off. The intimate ceremony was held for family and close friends to mourn, roughly 2 weeks after their tragic helicopter crash. 2 weeks later? Why didn't they just have the funeral the next day like the Jews do? Especially since it's a private ceremony, you don't want anybody there. The burial took place in Orange County to allow the family to grieve privately. That doesn't make any sense. 2020, we had drone tech. What were they, shooting down drones? Even if there was a great effort to keep people from photographing things. You would see pictures of people trying to get past it. If there was a tent set up over the funeral or whatever it may be, they can't just say that you couldn't be there. They can't just say you couldn't fly something there and see it. This is one part of the narrative that just makes no fucking sense whatsoever. A public celebration of life for Kobe and Yana was held February 24th. Wow, another 3 weeks later? Yeah, 3 weeks later at the Staples Center. The public memorial also honored the 7 other victims. Significance of the memorial date, 2/24, matched the jersey number of Gianna and Kobe. Oh, that's so sweet. Literally, that's all I can. When you hit the show more, that's all that comes up. Let's see. Here's Getty images, 40 of Kobe Bryant's funeral. And it's all just going to be stupid shit. Nothing is Kobe Bryant's actual funeral. Not a single one of these pictures. It's all just dumb shit. And you try to look it up, and it's like the memorial coverage and the tribute. Nope. Okay, here we go. Here, The Guardian covered it, I guess. Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, were buried on Friday in a private ceremony near the family's home, near the family's Southern California home, according to death certificates. According to death certificates, that was when their funeral happened? Like, we don't even know that? Again, look at the comment section. Look at the desperation these morons are like, the ad hominem desperation they have. They literally can't argue or debunk anything I'm saying, so it's just cry, 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 cry. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you. I can't talk about any of these other things. I don't want to, like, isn't it weird? If I'm wrong, why don't they just focus on what I'm wrong about? Why do they all just keep crying? Private ceremony equals no media. Right. Because you can do that in 2020 for a guy like Kobe Bryant. You're just stupid. You're I believe in God stupid. You have to be like, I believe what I'm told to believe stupid for that to make sense to you. The certificates state that the Bryants died of blunt trauma. They died of blunt trauma? Blunt trauma is what you die of when you get beat to death with something. Mary, what's going on? He had enough money to close the summit. You can't close the airspace, you dumbass. You can't close, people's ability to use again, there are guys who will sit in trees and wait for hours on end knowing that a celebrity is going to be somewhere. And they have telescopic lenses that can see very, very far. Like, think of what your Nokia 900 can zoom into. And they sit there and they just take pictures, and they hope that at some point the starlet goes to adjust her bra or something, and they can take a quick split second shot where you can catch a little nipple thing. Just the tiniest little nipple shot, and they catch it. 2020 drones were very, very commonplace. And again, the ability to zoom in is so much greater than what you think it is. Yes, you could keep people from coming into the cemetery, no doubt about it. But you couldn't keep people away. And you couldn't keep every single person away. Not a single fucking tabloid, sleazy, taking nipple pictures guy thought that, hey, I know everybody else isn't going to be there. I'm going to go there and get the $1 million shot. Not a single person. And there's not even footage of outside the closed off cemetery of limos of different stars pulling up and all that shit. None of it exists. Like I say, everybody that you would think would have been at the Kobe funeral was working that day, like nothing else had happened, like nothing was going on. But blunt trauma is not what happens. Like, you don't hear that people in plane crashes and shit died of blunt trauma. That's just not the narrative. That's why I'm glad I quit wrong. Says the fucking goofy ass YouTube crazy's profile, been on YouTube for 2 years with 1 subscriber. And he's like, yeah, this guy asks questions I can't answer and I don't ask. And I'm so glad I don't do drugs because of it. Isn't it amazing again how they can address so many things happening in the video, but never ever debunk or even address what's being said? If they do, if they make a point, I have the decency to address their point. And when I debunk their point, they don't have a secondary response. They're just these goofy ass bots that are able to stay on the surface, but as soon as you get down a little bit, they just fall the fuck apart. Maybe the paparazzi have more principle than you give them credit for. Yeah, the paparazzi are known for their principles. See, this is what I mean. When the story requires that you start believing stupid shit, you start saying stupid shit in order to accommodate, it's a stupid story. Why would you believe it? They have you sounding stupid in order to justify their narrative. Why would you even begin to want to defend their narrative? This is the situation that lies to you all the fucking time. I mean, look at this. Blunt trauma is force applied to the body that doesn't pierce or penetrate. Is that what it is? So being burnt up in a helicopter crash to the point where nobody can, that the people that are there seconds later don't show anybody, there's not a single body or body part to be seen. So apparently it all evaporated in the fire. That's blunt force trauma? That's how that works? Like, again, in order to believe this, you have to sound stupid. Yeah, no, dude, helicopter crashes are blunt force trauma. Duh. That's what you hear all the time. Whenever you hear about people dying in a crash, they don't say that the person died in a crash. They say they died of blunt force trauma. Case closed. Isn't it weird how blunt force trauma would cover everything that happens in a plane crash while also meaning being beat to death with something? Man, that's amazing, huh? Even if you die in a car crash, they'll say blunt force trauma from a car crash. They don't just leave it open for interpretation. Oh, it's just blunt force trauma, just random blunt force trauma. I was on a live last night with my friend. He doesn't have as many followers as you, but had about the same number of viewers. It was nothing like the BS you get daily, not even close. Yeah, well. And your friend wasn't talking about the same shit I talk about. Of course they're fucking with the stream. Of course they are. They don't know what to do. I make too much sense, so they have to start fucking with shit. They're hoping they make the feed too irritating, too fucked up, too choppy, too whatever. So you just go, you know what? I could watch literally anything else and this shit wouldn't be happening. I'm going to go watch someone else. That someone else is probably going to say things that I already agree with anyway. So that'd be a lot better. That's what they're hoping happens. It says 7 over here. Well, it says 3 viewers and 6 likes. 2,500 plus subscribers, and I have 3 viewers and 6 likes. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. That's what you see when you watch people's feeds. You see people talk about, the same things I'm talking about. You know what hasn't happened in a while? We haven't seen the profile, the comment section get shut down. Isn't that interesting? Why hasn't anybody shut the comments off in a while? If that's just a normal thing that happens. We have debunked you. Yep, you've debunked what I'm saying. That's what it is. I love when they say that they've debunked, but they don't give the debunk. Well, I've already said it once. I'm not going to say it again. I just say dumb shit. I'm not going to say truthful stuff because you're not going to listen. I'll just say dumb shit because you're not going to listen. It's just stupid. Anybody that would believe this, your debunks aren't even worth the time because they're just nonsense anyway. Yep. Human bodies just evaporate because the fire is so intense, it destroys any remnants of a giant 6'6", 200 plus pound black guy, 70% water, along with 7 other people. I think it was 4 or 5 kids and 3 or 4 adults, something like that. All of those people just vanished. They evaporated because of the fire that was so hot it destroyed human bodies, but left a bunch of dry fucking brush. Just, California hillside dry brush. The thing that literally catches fire every year around that time. No, it rained. It rained. Yep, because that's how that works. Hot enough to melt a helicopter, but not hot enough to catch fire to old dry timber because it had rained. There was fog. It had rained. I mean, I've made thousands of fires in my life. Literally. Maybe 1,000. We'll say 1,000. The idea that something is damp or even kind of wet, all it means is it's going to burn a little longer. When it's giant logs that are wet, they'll sizzle. And the water will find, it'll go it'll all go to the one point it can get out from, and it'll all bubble up, and you'll see steam coming off of it. But it burns. And there is no footage of them putting it out and shit. If you're dumb enough to believe that these accidental bikers pulling up seconds after the crash, showing you exactly what it looked like, and you think that footage stands up to scrutiny, you're a fucking bot. You're a bot, man. There is no other way around it. You're just a dumbass bot who is desperately trying to get something. We got lucky with a few streams about those fools. That's what's probably because they're always in the chat supervising now, maybe. Of course. Yeah, they've been here. It's always like this. That's why it doesn't bother me. I know what I'm doing. Yep, I've been debunked. I keep getting debunked. Yep, 4 or 5 times now. If you look at the weather reports, right, because, this guy is an expert on Southern California weather the day that the Kobe crash happened. Yeah, at the time of Logan Public, you could see that the area had rainstorms. Lots of rainstorms. That's why there was fog and the grass was wet. Yep. Yep, so that makes it so on that day where it wasn't really as foggy as, like, you can literally see seconds after it happened, it wasn't nearly as foggy as you want to think it is. There's not like dew dripping from the fucking branches and shit. It's dry brush. You can literally see it. Even the dirt, the gouge, isn't like wet dirt. It's all dry dirt. You can absolutely tell when shit is wet. And remember, these are magnesium fires that have no problem evaporating human bodies that are 70% water. Little twigs that have had rain on them or fog, they're going to go up with the quickness. The water's going to evaporate and they're going to burn up like immediately. This level of stupid is just insane to me. But this is why I don't even bother. This is why there's so many. And think about it. Why do the same fucking people come here day after day after day begging for attention with stupid comments? If I'm not going to read them, if I'm not going to ignore them, and there's just that slight chance that they could get acknowledged, what does that say? Doesn't that sound like I'm really important to them? Imagine if you got a penny every time someone debunks you. Right. I debunked you because I said it was rain. Yep. Because that's how it works. That's how fire works. A slight rainstorm, especially in that area at that time, would mean nothing. But when was this? When was the date, actually? February 20th. Yeah, that's the fucking dry season. That's insane. Let's see. Let's keep going here. The Bryants and 7 others were killed in a helicopter crash last month. So they died in... Oh, yeah, this week. Right. The retired basketball star and his daughter and the other victims will be honored at the 24th of February public memorial, blah, blah, blah. The date corresponds. It's not yet known what caused the crash. We still don't know what caused the crash, huh? Which occurred while the helicopter was taking the Bryants and others to a youth basketball tournament. A report by the National Transportation Safety Board issued last week stated that there weren't any signs of engine failure from the wreckage. Recovered. No signs of engine failure from the wreckage recovered. From the crash site in Kabbalah, the pilot, Era Zobaya, had nearly navigated the helicopter out of blinding clouds when it turned and plunged into the mountainside. Sounds like you know what the fucking cause of the crash was. They're saying they don't know, but then they're saying they do. Public Memorial Sunday, blah, 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 3 others. Okay, several thousand people to mourn Orange Cone basketball coach John, his wife Carrie, 2, that's 3 adults. Their daughter Alyssa, Gianna's teammate, also killed in the crash, were Kristen Maurer, who helped Bryant coach the teenage girls. So that's 4 adults, plus the pilot, 5 adults. As well as Sarah Chester, 6 adults, and her daughter Peyton. So it's mostly adults then. All of those adult bodies. In an Instagram post earlier this week, Kobe Bryant announced, my brain refuses to accept blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? At this unsettling time, we hope that's the end of it. That's what the Guardian has to say. Wow. Friday funeral facts. Kobe Bryant, Hayes Brothers Funeral Home. Kobe Bryant daughter Gianna laid to rest ahead of public memorial. This is People. All right, this is published February 12th, 2020. Kobe and Gianna Bryant have been laid to rest. People can confirm. Oh, People's confirming this. Okay. The date of disposition on death certificates obtained by People was listed as February 7th at Pacific View Memorial Park and Mortuary in Corona del Mar, California. When reached by People, the Memorial Park declined to comment, as did a rep for Kobe. That just doesn't make sense. Do you understand how fucking stupid that is? Why would it be such hush-hush, tight-lipped bullshit, especially after the fact? What's the secret here? This is a beloved character, right? And his daughter. Like, this is a super sad, crazy, this doesn't happen to rich people kind of thing. We're also going into COVID at the time. Why the fuck is this so hush-hush? Why the fuck is this so secretive? It's really strange. I mean, even Kobe's rep declined to comment to People magazine. That just doesn't make any sense. Faked his death or somebody murdered him and set it up like a helicopter crash. I have no idea what the fuck happened. I'm not saying, the only thing I'm saying is that the narrative we're given doesn't make any sense. I think a lot of the people we think are dead are still alive. Probably on some land that we don't know exists in between continents. Do you guys know that the Great Garbage Patch, that's what they call it, is off limits? It's a no-fly zone? Why can't people fly over the Great Garbage Patch? It's the Great Garbage Patch, right? It's garbage. You're telling me people can't fly over it and take pictures and shit? You can't even have commercial aircraft fly over it? Doesn't that limit travel? And yet there's this large area that no fly zone, boats aren't allowed to go there. It's fucking patrolled. Why would you patrol the Great Garbage? What the fuck is the problem? I don't understand. News of the father, 41, and daughter's final resting place comes ahead of a scheduled public memorial. Okay, the event, I don't care about the public memorial. The date holds significance, but yep, we know because of the numbers. Know who Kobe is survived by Vanessa Bryant, as well as the couple's other children, Natalia 17, Bianca 3, and 7-month-old Capri. Kobe had a kid at 40 fucking years old? What sense does that make? You're going to be 60 years old with a 20-year-old daughter? How can you, think about how ridiculous that is. I wonder how much, do you ever see or hear about any of these people? Kobe, Bianca, do you ever hear about? Are these people anywhere to be seen, or are they just gone? Do we never hear about them? That's weird. I agree. I don't think many people they said died are really dead. See you in Valhalla. That's exactly what I was thinking when I said it. See you in Valhalla. Valhalla, mate. Well, it's just fucking stupid, man. Fellow athletes, he's shooting hoops in Agartha. Yeah, maybe. I mean, think about it. Who are the people that get brought in to ICE. ICE. Who are these people that get brought in whenever there's a peaceful protest? And you get these soldiers that get brought in dressed in all black, covering their faces in body armor with electrified shields and batons and shit, that go out there and beat the shit out of peaceful protesters, incite riots and shit like that by attacking people. Who do you think all those people are? What if they, on this great garbage patch, they have, 5,000 whites, 5,000 blacks, 5,000, browns who can play Mexicans or, Asians if need be, whatever. There's multifaceted things where anytime they need a group of people, they just bring them in and say, oh, look, this happened. All of those crisis actors that people talk about and shit. Well, they can't just live amongst us. They'd be outed. They'd be, hounded. The thing is, you think you live in the United States and you think it looks like it does. Florida's little dink sticking out. Michigan is a hand. You don't know. You don't know. Airplanes basically fly by themselves. They have for decades. So if pilots aren't backing up your narrative, or pilots are backing, they have a job, they have a family. Everybody that's involved, like I said the other day, the way they lock everybody in is by, the whole idea of families. That's why you're supposed to get married out of high school and have kids right away kind of bullshit. Because it's immediate. You're immediately, it's beyond just you and making your life better. Now you're responsible for other lives. You're responsible for keeping, like if it's you can lose your shit, sleep in your apartment, go crash on a friend's couch, or sleep on your car, go crash on a friend's couch, whatever you need to do. When you have a family, you can't let that happen. So now you're willing to be a good slave, and you'll work really hard and you'll put on a smile. You can hate your job, but you'll smile as you serve the rich. It's all just one tactic to keep you being the cog that you are. So when they decide that they want to go to the film festival in whatever, or they want to go party at the beach here, they want to go to the Detroit Auto Show, they want to go whatever. Well, the only way that can happen is if it's ready for them to be there. And the only way that can be there is if there's a shit ton of people, Goyim, there to make it happen. Do you know how impressive this is? Do you understand this? Do you know how many people it takes to make that happen every day? You don't think anything of it. You think you have your TV on. You're looking at my dumb ass on a fucking cell phone or something. You have no idea what it takes to make that happen, to ensure that happens flawlessly and seamlessly. There are multiple people along the way that make that happen. When the rich people want to go get a meal at the 5-star restaurant, there are so many people that are in the line to make sure that the most expensive saffron is in the restaurant, and the best quality meat from here, the Wagyu beef and all that. Do you know how many people that takes? Flying planes, packaging shit, picking shit, blah, blah, blah. Traveling from this place, the gas that it takes to get to that. Now you have to get the whole people that do the gas, the electricity to light the way, the refrigeration system that's used to make sure it's fresh. All of those things require a long line of Goyim doing their part. They can't get rid of us. They can lobotomize us. They can make us stupid. They can do the sleep sickness again if they want to. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe all of you fucking COVID vaxxers are going to fall asleep again. That's what they tell us. Unknown. Starting in 1915, 1916 and going until 1929, 1930, just as the Depression hits. Now Now the sleep sickness is over, but now everybody's got to deal with the depression. Bum, 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 bum. Imagine waking up 15 years later, you think it's the next day, and instead it's this, you're from 1919 or 19, 18, 19, whatever it is, where we are, flying across the world, no problem. We're building buildings like nothing, subway systems. We're doing all this amazing shit. For you, it feels like you closed your eyes. When you woke up, now we're in the fucking depression. Everything's fucked. Imagine how fucked up that was. Nobody thinks like this. They should be, though, shouldn't they? It's all connected. That's the thing. None of my shit is fabricated. None of my shit is fantasy. Is speculation. This that. It's all right there. It's all right fucking there. It all exists for you to find it. They don't even try to hide it because they know most of you are too busy worried about the Super Bowl. Playing Angry Birds on your phones. I had Angry Birds on my phone. It was like 2014 or something like that. It was just before I got hurt. and I had been at work and I was at home. And so, this is my time when I'm at home. And my kids are in the living room and they're playing, they're doing something, and they're going, Dad, look. And I'm going, hang on. And I'm playing my Angry Birds, trying to knock the thing down. And then it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. And I was like, I am missing out on this small window of childhood so I can shoot some fucking Angry Birds at some bullshit. And I was far in the game. I'm good at games, so I was far. I had a good score and shit. I immediately removed it from my phone. Nope. I am not going to be sitting on my phone playing fucking stupid ass Angry Birds. If I'm going to waste my time, at least I'm going to do this. At least I'm going to learn. Bet you most of you have some sort of game on your phone, though, don't you? While you guys are playing that game, I'm learning. Let's see. The news comes just one day after Vanessa shared an emotional Instagram post about grief. She said that she has been reluctant to write about her feelings, but wanted to do so to help others who are going through the loss of a loved one. Right. Like you're in that position. Do you remember that she set up a GoFundMe? Do you guys remember that shit? They were taking donations for Kobe's funeral and shit. Like that bitch needed another fucking $1. Like Kobe didn't have a life insurance policy worth a gazillion. And that's why they make those stupid games. Absolutely. The funny thing is, you'll see it all the time. You'll look up certain people's videos or whatever, and they'll be like, this is sponsored by War Supreme, blah, 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 blah. If you sign up today and you use this code, you get a free tank with extra ammunition. And what do you think they're programming you for war with all the free games that they give you? This shit's free. They don't give it to you for free for nothing. Nobody watches the ads. Even in the situations where you have to sit through the ad, I can't tell you that there's ever been a time where one of those ads has come through and I've been like, oh shit, that looks like a product I'd be interested in. I'm so glad my game time was interrupted so I could do this. So I could learn about this product that I already knew existed. Think about this shit. Tell me what I'm wrong about. Tell me how I'm wrong. Kobe Bryant's wife didn't ask for donations, rich fucking bitch. She's not going to show you guys any pictures or anything like that of the funeral, how beautiful it was, all the people that were there showing love. There's not even pictures of the outside of the cemetery during the funeral or at the funeral home or anything. There's literally no evidence that a funeral took place. And yet she wants you to give her money for the shit, right? Because she cares about you so much. This shit is wild, man. No, you're running in. Well, why don't you research the connection between the video game? Oh, yeah, that. Why don't I do something different? Why don't I do something different? Why do you want to watch me do something different? If you don't like what I do, go watch somebody else doing the thing that you want to see done. Why would it matter if I do it or not? Why don't you research it? Why don't you make a live feed and you research the connection? Why would anybody come here and tell me to stop doing what I'm doing? Stop looking into what you're looking into. If you know all I'm going to find is information and validation of the narrative that we're given, then what's the problem? Shouldn't I then I would look stupid. You find all this information. I'm like, oh, Kobe Bryant is alive. And then everything I look up, it blows up in my face. Why aren't, shouldn't you be confident that's going to happen? Why are you so concerned that I'm continuing to talk about this, right? This is what seems to happen damn near every fucking time I'm talking about anything that matters. Michael Jackson's memorial was odd too. None of his family were crying. It was all extremely strange. Right. That's the best part about it though, Matt, is that because of that inbred stupidity, they think it actually, like, they're doing a good job. Oh, that was a good one, Jaime. Oh, that was a good one, Morty. Good job, David. Good job, Moisha. Like, they really do think they're doing a good job. I'm so glad they're this stupid because they just keep they just keep validating things. Understand that if I was wrong about any of it, they would focus in on it. Like they focus in on your ceiling tiles. They focus in, they're paying attention to the video. They just never focus in on what I'm wrong about. And let's say they did make the point, but I didn't see it or I didn't address it. How many times have you seen these guys repeat themselves over and over again? Copy and paste something over and over again, for whatever, something stupid. Why wouldn't they just do that with the debunk? The magical debunk that proves me wrong. Why aren't they just repeatedly posting it? I didn't think a level of ignorance could possibly exist, but I stand corrected every stream. Right, isn't it amazing how you think it? It's just like looking into the history, right? It's not necessarily like shocking, surprising, but it is just like holy shit, how does this exist so prominently? All of these guys are arguing like I shouldn't be talking about this because they have, stock. They have stock in Kobe Bryant's real funeral. Everybody believes what they sort of tell us happened. And like if people start questioning things, they're going to lose money or something. Look at the stupidity. It's insane. Like, the crazy neighbor we call for yelling on the crazy neighbor we call the cops on for yelling the feds are watching. The feds are watching me through the bushes. You call the cops on you have that happen? You've called the cops on your neighbors because they were outside screaming the feds are watching me from the bushes? That sounds like a reasonable thing for someone to say. That's a believable thing for someone to say. Joined 4 years ago, has 2 subscribers. This is the guy that, I share my profile with my girlfriend. Right? That makes sense to someone. This guy was like, you know what? I'll get him. type. Looked at it, was like, all right, I guess that works. Saw that it fucked up and still hit to enter anyway. That's gonna get him. Boom, that'll get him. This is the guy that we all call the cops on, our neighbor, because he's outside screaming. The cops are watching me from the bushes. That makes sense, right? With everything I'm talking about, the Kobe Bryant stuff, the parts that don't make sense, all of that other stuff, that was the most intelligent thing that guy could come up with. And that's just me randomly looking at a fucking comment. I've ignored tons of this doofus's comments. I randomly just pick one to look at, and that's the dumbassery that comes through. You have to love it. And of course, we automatically get dumped down to zero. Yep. My brain refuses to accept blah, blah. Why should I be able to wake up another day when my baby girl, she had so much to live that I realized I had to be strong for my 3 daughters. Speaking to fans and followers about the loss of her adoring husband, you know, the guy that cheated on her. Remember that? And their beautiful, sweet daughter, Gianna, she wrote, "We are also devastated for the families and the blah, blah, blah. I know the blah, blah, and the blah, blah." Vanessa continued, "I'm not sure what our lives hold beyond today. Blah, 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 blah." And that's that. That's what people's coverage of the funeral was. Not a lot coming up. I mean, KRCR. Let's see what they have to say. KRCR. Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Rihanna, have been laid to rest during a private funeral, according to ET. The private funeral was held in Corona Del Mar, California on February 7th. February. Not February. February. What is dangerous about any of the information? Right, again. It's only dangerous to a certain few people. Yeah, of course they do. That's why they're allowed to be here. Remember, I'm God to them, right? I can remove them without a thought. Just click, they're gone. There's a reason why I allow them to be here. And it's one of the things that they used to know better, right? They used to just sort of sit and be quiet because initially they would talk shit and I would let them talk. And if you just leave them on here and let them talk, especially if you don't respond, they out themselves. They say shit to try to get your attention. And eventually they say some dumb pedo joke. Or, you know, they say something fucking that normal people don't say. And they out themselves. They say some Israeli bullshit. They fuck up some wording. They do whatever. But just letting them talk, letting them out themselves is the best fucking policy. Because they're obsessed, right? And they're only obsessed with me. It's not because I'm this fucking great looking guy or they're obsessed with my music or whatever. They know how dangerous I am. That's why they make it sound like I'm dangerous. Because it's dangerous for someone like me to inspire my fellow Goyim. And you know, we go with what Guy says. We you know, we make it illegal. We ban the cult here in the States and send them to fucking, you know, send them to the JOA or the JAO, the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. That's the only help they'll get. If they want a plane ticket, they can go to there. We're not going to send them to Israel, but they're not allowed to be here if they identify as cult members. We are making that cult illegal. The private funeral was held Corona Del Mar, February 7th. The NBA legend and his daughter died in a helicopter crash alongside 7 others 2 weeks ago. Kobe is survived by his wife. Yep. A source told E.T. Vanessa and the family wanted a private service to mourn their loss. The ceremony was extremely hard for everyone, as it's still hard for them to grasp the two beautiful souls. The lost two beautiful souls. They lost two beautiful. Although a private funeral was held for Kobe and his daughter. Yep. Vanessa confirmed the date. Yep. Kobe played. Yep. That's that. Can't seem to find anything. Daniel to yourself with all the thing and Michael you don't brain and you with them. See what I mean? Just dumbass shit. And none of them ever say, I don't like you for reason, because they never give the reason why they're even here to begin with. But you're right about the whole we should kill pedos thing. You're right, we should kill pedos. They never ever say shit like that. Isn't that weird? Memorial service. This is later. Was held. This is the Sun. The Sun says was held. NBA legend in Memorial Park. Oh, here's a picture of the certificate. This is going to be one of those things where I'm not going to be able to see it. All right, let's take a picture. And I'm going to look it up on the thing, and then I'm going to enlarge it there. Kobe Bean. I didn't know his middle name was Bean. Did you guys know Kobe's middle name was Bean? It's weird. Kobe Bean Bryant. You know what? I'm going to look this up real quick. 32020. 32020. One 1974. I think 5574. Yep. So when I looked that up, it just shows that. Emittance Certifico de Defunction de Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant death certificate, private memorial. This one has a lot more shit blacked out. That's all. That when you look up that number, that's all that pops up. Oh shit, I lost my page. Damn it. You know what? I'm going to keep looking on this, see what it says before I go further. Male, date of birth, date of death, 1/26/20. It was in January? January 26th? I did not know that. I thought it was in February. Date of birth, 8/23/1978. Married. Socialist blocked. Ever in U.S. Armed Services? No. can't see if this says birth. I guess born in Pennsylvania. Some college author, producer, and athlete. Entertainment, African American. Man, I can't see what it says. It's not very clear. I don't know why it says his basketball number on there. That seems weird. That's his address. That's her name. That's... Dude, seriously. The death certificate literally just says blunt force trauma. That's it. It has 4 lines to be able to at least mention that he was in a fucking crash, and it doesn't. Down at the bottom it says commercial helicopter crash passenger. On the mountainside it says. What the fuck? Is the coroner's name? Oh, Regina Augustine. Deputy coroner. Okay. She has 2 followers on LinkedIn. Regina Augustine, County of Los Angeles Deputy Coroner. Don't you think that's strange that she has 2 followers? She's the LA County Coroner. She would have more than 2 followers, wouldn't she? These are PDFs you can download. There are 6 Regina Augustine LinkedIn profiles. DamnExtraTV.com. This is a state of California. Another PDF, another PDF, another PDF, another PDF. Everything that has to do with her is PDFs. You have to download something to your computer. Detective Amanda Cantuo pass. Who gives a fuck about that? Another LA City Clerk PDF. Wincoil.gov PDF. The salaries. Florida Courts PDF. Autopsy findings and venomous thromboembolius in patients. In this autopsy study of 12 consecutive patients who died of COVID, we found a high instance of deep venous thrombosis. Deep vein thrombosis? What the fuck does that have to do with it? Countywide offices, elect officials. This is all PDFs. Every single thing that has to do with this broad is a PDF that you have to download. And not any of it says anything about her connection to Kobe. It's all just PDF files. Beaumont Hospital annual report. Let's see. This is something that at least I can look at, I guess. It's telling me I can download PDFs up there, but it's... Oh, shit, this is loading. I don't want to load this. So that wasn't one then, I guess. So, the woman who signed Kobe's death report has 2 followers on LinkedIn, and anything else that you want to find out about her, there are multiple things that are listed. Every single one of them is a PDF file you have to download. Exactly, just like the commenters. Isn't that fucking crazy? I'm sorry, I just don't buy any of this. And if you do, I just want to know, like, how this makes any sense to you. Tell me. Let me know what part works. What part of this are you like, no, that totally makes sense. Of course, you wouldn't be able to. The fucking LA County coroner who signed Kobe's death certificate basically doesn't exist outside of this bullshit. That is fucking insane. So you have this one profile picture of her at the top from LinkedIn. And then you have, that's a different broad. Then there are pictures of the death certificate. And literally nothing else exists of her. Nothing. Nothing else comes up with this broad. She doesn't exist. She's not worked on any other cases. She's not signed any other death certificates. She is a ghost. Why would it be hidden? If Kobe thing is all on the up and up, why would anything like that be hidden? Seriously, guys. Central casting, exactly. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna be done here because it's been on for too long. But if anybody can debunk anything I've had to say so far, I'd love to hear it. But you know, why don't you do your best to debunk what I'm saying for the rest of the day, and then you come at me tomorrow and tell me everything I've gotten wrong, okay? Because now I have 0 viewers. Mary, you're the best. I wish you were here the whole time. Have yourself a wonderful day, and check out all the links in the description. This is a much bigger connection than you realize. So have a great day. All you PDF files in the comments, all you pedos, kill yourself. Wait. Okay.